This video is going to be about my dad's website, but first I have a chemical burn from a pill I did last night. I think I'm going to be okay. Sorry to disappoint, but here is the Denver Art Museum. This is the face of part of it, America's tech capital, home to the nation's third largest surviving population of homeless people, including me. Today's day 541.
What stopped and what started on January 6, 2021, particularly with my family, my dad, are working together. That was the day I just kind of said, I can't stand for this. It was also a day, probably the most significant day in our family's history since 1997. And including a lot of stuff, including a lot of stuff. That was the day I just kind of said, I can't stand for him going to January 6th. At all costs, I'm going to go ahead and quit working with him and never have again. It's also a day, probably maybe the next day, it really sunk in. I've already defeated homelessness once. It's likely, given the family's zero response, really, that I would have any support if that threat happened again. A year and a half later, it did. Doing the background, I'm at the Denver Health new pharmacy building, Pavilion G or something. But I like it up here, it's quiet, you can see the mountains. I want to show you a look back at my dad's website. This is what kind of went away not long after January 6th. But this is what it was. I'm including everybody's marriages and divorces, open heart surgeries. I'm multitasking. The last jubilant day we really had would have been September 29th, 1990. Across the board, that was when my brother was born. Behind me, that's City Hall. That is the old Millennium done real well in the new world. My dad's website, I made most of it, got the skills to learn it, update it. I shut it down here, but I basically learned how to do it. Just did. I didn't really need a lot of big education or a lot of big fancy official skills or anything. I just kind of made it happen. I'm just gonna say I'm kind of curious and just, I feel like I'm the only one that might be thinking of this, but probably I'm not. Might be a small number of people. What really happened to the family brand after January 6th? My mom's brand was pretty much where she worked, who she was with, where she was on vacation, or what country she was in, or what fun thing she was doing. That was the Raider brand for a long time. But my dad's brand, my dad was in a public service announcement statewide. He was in the National Library of Congress, Smithsonian, largest mural of the state of West Virginia, a cover of West Virginia South, West Virginia Living, Emmy nominated. It was something the Brandywine Valley took seriously in Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania. We all did. I took it seriously, completely. In 2017, we went to New York City. We went to Fifth Avenue. With all this happened, and the year and a half before I went homeless, afraid I was going to be that way on January 6th, and the year and a half of being homeless, and really no support from dad at all. Really, almost none. Let's just go ahead and take a look back at what it was. Last thing I want to say here is my dad's brand, the core message, the overall product theme, fine art, American realism, and through oil watercolor paintings, really I think stemmed a lot from Wyeth inspiration and Appalachian folk. But to get the message out there, it was executed twice in the 90s with my mother's involvement. I think that's where we got the quote. I don't know for sure, but I think that's where we get the quote. The Monterey News, my hometown newspaper, quoted us as a modern family embodying the Norman Rockwell lifestyle. May have came from her. Don't know for sure, but I think it's likely.
But to get the message out there in the 2010s, see, I kind of feel like my dad relied on me almost a little too much in the 1990s, making me the focal centerpiece or subject of Find I Am and other paintings. Aviators I have the best affiliation with today and always have. But I like Find I Am a lot more now. I just wish it wasn't missing. So many mysteries around my dad. But I would say to get the message out there, we utilized anything that was free and would create a buzz, that would get our attention, and it worked. We use that a lot. So in Twitter, Instagram, we do traditional media like Christmas cards. It was exciting, inspiring. Most of the work, looking back, most of the work I did, I always remember us both being excited about something. That part I miss very much. So this has been a really good topic for a video, and I hope it's one of my most watched this week. What goes up must come down and go back up again. Like way up. I could be working here one day. What I'm alluding to, and just know I'm not really trying to get any awards on this video. I'm just trying to get a point across. I think it's important that even though I think that the line of questionable behavior my dad has got into is something I'm not even going to get into this video. It's apparently still up for debate in this family. I don't think it can be, but I just want to say it's important to know that I care about the career my father had with his art, and this picture for exactly of me holding a quilt in a room in 2023 when I was with my dad for a brief period, when he did not really have much of a bed or anything, no future there, but he did have his quilt. We all in our family kind of have a special blanket, and that blanket is from when my mother was 19. She's now twice divorced. I think that the whole scope and the embodiment of his career can be, in time, brought back to a very beautiful level of recognition. And I think time has a way of showing the beautiful parts. I think that a continued exhibit of Tom's work in the future, many years from now, can be possible, is what I'm trying to say. It's also very disheartening that the whole family that, allegedly stands by him, I have all of everything that was digitally preserved for 40 years. When I die of chronic homelessness, all of this stuff dies. No one else has it. It's very alarming that everyone's so comfortable with that. What I mean by no future and escaping Denver, Colorado, the streets of Denver last year, about 6 months homeless, to going back to West Virginia, here's me in a strange place I'd never been before, while my father is leaving me with the only vehicle he's taking it that works so he can go have a sleepover with a 7-year-old boy of immigrant parents again and again and again. Gotten more into that in other videos. I just want to say it's extremely weird. Things never got better when I went back to my dad's other home. Here's a picture of me and my dad's other home with a giant hole in the ceiling. The only water available is in that bucket. Here I am taking showers in February 2023 outside. Here is a painting my dad painted of his own home, which he has done many times before and after making me homeless. And then it's just, you got to kind of realize it's a thorn in my side. He actually, in 2019, after making me homeless, after we went to New York City, because I believed in the dream, he then charged many people in Bramwell, West Virginia, especially the town of millionaires, right next to the poorest place in the United States of America, McDowell County. He charged people, other people his age, a high price for paintings of their own home, and he did it again and again. And I realized his livelihood is part of it's painting architecture, but it's just, he made me homeless, and he's painting homes, and he's doing art shows about homes. He has multiple homes. I'm homeless. None of this is acceptable to me. So that's my thoughts on my father and his behavior briefly. Here we'll continue with my day around downtown.
Currently, I'm working on 4 job leads that seem very promising. I'm hopeful something will come through. This is a picture of me this morning, and then I went to a shared office space to tour that. I'm really thinking that would be a great solution for me to have a safe place to go. I do have a PayPal fundraiser. I'll link in the description.
I could be working here one day. Find your place. Flexible workspaces for teams of 1 to 100. I can't live right there. I can't work right there. I can go to church right there. I already have. In fact, this bad boy right here is a recreation center. I want to join so bad. I want to go swimming. I don't want to be homeless anymore. I want to have like freedom, creativity, recreation, fitness. I'm so ready. I got 4 job leads today, so I'm in a good mood. Optimistic. We're going up and down again. We're at the doctor's office this time. And we're going up and down and around the library. Okay, the moment you all been waiting for. This is a look at my dad's website. It has not really been up since January 6th. I just thought I would kind of bring it back to life in this video format. You can enlarge the screen, pause it if you want to read some of it. This is all still there. It's just not online. Wanted to just kind of take a look back through memory lane. And, you know, I really don't care about my physical appearance today. I'm alive, in good spirits, doing the things I need to do. I'm going to get better. I feel better. Should have had that chemical burn, but I'm not really, it doesn't bother me. I'm just going to go ahead with this video. This is me later the same evening. I'm just calling places, working with passwords, applying for jobs, doing paperwork, all the things that you probably do. I'm just not at home. And just kind of continuing down memory lane here of the website. One thing I recall is we had a record sales month, December 2020. He went to January 6th, and then it all went away. But I remember we went through a exhaustive scrub through and really shined this website up to exactly what he wanted it to look like, the works that he wanted to highlight, and everything was really done to kind of like propel us into a new direction. That was the theme. It was the new theme that we were going into. It was called New Directions. We have some prints for sale, some original works here, and he was very particular about word choice, and just it was something I think I'm still proud of. I don't really think I can really use this much in a portfolio type sense anymore, but it's still there. It's still there. It's just I'm the only one that has access to it, along with all of his digital legacy. Everything was preserved. I think there could be a great future in this, but let's just move on to a happy ending right now. Lastly, this painting here is called Study for the Harvest Wind, and I really wish my dad would complete this full work. I think it would be great if he did. That painting, and then if I don't sneak this in, you may not ever know. This is a picture that we took on my 27th or 28th birthday in 2015. It's a church at 𝘰𝘰𝘷𝘦. Primarily, it was a black church, or the congregation was African American. This church had been abandoned for quite some time, and this was going to be immediately. We both recognized there was potential for it to be a huge work for him. He never, to my knowledge, ever really got started on actually painting it. I really do hope that painting comes to fruition at some point. For some sort of segue or transition, this is a picture of me at the Train Museum in Denver around the time of January 6th. And this picture to me symbolizes the time that's passed and the time ahead. I was about 33 at the time, so it was really halfway about in my lifetime. And here we go with more of the present. If you'd like to learn more about my dad's career highlights, I'm going to link in the description the Vimeo link to his Emmy-nominated role in the documentary 𝘭𝘰𝘷𝘦, a documentary about McDowell County, West Virginia. So you could take a look at that if you like. A common theme when you're homeless is just trying to get back what you already had. And for me, that really stems more on a lifelong level. If we look at where my first home was before my family got divorced, this is how close we were, a 5-minute walk to a community center. My father was also younger than me, never interned, never did excruciating high pressure to perform as a young child on a ladder, in front of a camera, at an art show or gallery, constantly kind of being put in the spotlight. But my father had access to a private office, and I would just like something similar afforded to me, or just be within reach. And I think it can be. I just could use some help right now. I see so many reminders of where I came from and in this city. And right here, some scaffolding looks an awful whole lot like the scaffolding that my dad was doing before he went to WV Medicine. Here's a picture. And this is the good part that you don't see and you don't appreciate, you don't have any understanding of what it takes to be this tough and this positive, calm and collected, and ready for the next best day ever in my life without a home. This is Denver. This is Faith. This is Dolly Parton. This is We're Gonna Hold On. Georgia Tammy, this is like, it'll be fine. We have faith, it will be. Homeless over 500 days in Denver, Colorado, 2024. My 3rd February without a home. All I want to do is get back more of what I already had. This is the Carla Madison Recreation Center. This is where I want to live. This neighborhood is pretty much just like the neighborhood I had in Old Millennium in Mount Airy, America's #1 TV hub town. I just want to be as close to this community center as I can be. This recreation center might be renovated, updated, new millennium, #1 up a little more, but it's still the same. I think it's got good bones, there's good people here. Just want back what I already had in a lot of ways.
Slipping